Welcome. In this video I'm going to be replacing the rack and pinion bellows on this 2006 Honda Odyssey. So this is the part I'll be using. I got it at Napa. Here's the part number. It's 269-1658. So this video may not be comprehensive. I'm just sharing my experience. So if you don't know how to do this type of thing safely, then this is probably not a good project for you. So I currently have this jacked up. I placed a jack under the tow hook location in the front. I jacked up the front end as high as this jack would go, and I put a jack stand under the jacking points on the right and left side. Then I lowered the jack, and then I shook it a bit to make sure it wasn't going to fall off the jack stands. So next I need to remove the wheel. So I'll be using an electric impact. If you don't have an impact wrench, you'll want to break the lug nuts loose while the car is on the ground, and then remove them once it's in the air. And the lug nut size is 22 millimeters. Now when you remove a wheel, I like to leave the bottom lug nut for last. That way the tire doesn't kick out and bind the other lug nuts as I'm taking them out. So I'm going to place the wheel under the car in case some part of the jacking system would fail. That's just an extra layer of safety. So it may be tricky filming this, but this part here is what we're replacing. It's torn really bad, but as you can see, it's in there quite a ways, so I may have a little trouble getting shots in there, but I'll try and do the best I can. Now I sprayed some penetrating oil on this jam nut yesterday. I'm going to spray a little bit on there right now, and I'll let that soak in for a few minutes. So what we have here are the outer and inner tie rods, and the inner tie rod is threaded, and that threads into the outer tie rod. And here we have a jam nut. So when you align a car, you actually adjust this length here, and this jam nut keeps it in place. So we need to separate this joint so we can slide the new boot on. When we do that, we're going to mess up the alignment. Now I don't want to realign the car after doing this. So what I want to do is get this in the exact same position as close as I can to what it is right now. So I'll use a couple different techniques to try and get it dialed back in. The first is I have a digital caliper here. I'll find some reference points. I'll use the face of this nut and this little ledge here on the inner tie rod, and I'll take a measurement there. And I got 1.7345 inches. So I'll take a couple different measurements and I'll write those down. Now these aren't precise surfaces I'm measuring against, but the idea is I want to get very close. When I measure again, I got 1.728 and 1.729. So I measured on this face, and so I remember I could use a marker or something, but that could rub off. I have a little rotary tool here. I'm just going to scratch that a little bit so I can remember that's the face I want to measure against. Now other techniques are to count the threads or count the turns. So I'm going to mark the top of the inner tie rod so I can tell how many times it's been turned. Now this is a cutoff wheel, but I'm not actually cutting deep into this. I'm really just almost cleaning the surface with it. A file or piece of sandpaper would work too. I obviously don't want to cut deep and ruin the integrity of it. So I can also count the threads. I have a mirror here. Let's see if I can see them. So I'll count about 8. I could also mark the jam nut position against the tie rod. I don't think it'll make a difference, but maybe I'll do that. So I made a mark on the inner outer tie rod and the jam nut. So this is probably overkill, but I thought it'd be nice having a couple different techniques. So now I need to loosen this jam nut, and this can be a tricky part. So it's going to go in this direction. I have a 19 millimeter wrench. I'll put this on here. And the way I usually loosen these is hitting the bottom of the wrench with my palm. I don't know if I can get that on here. So I'll try that. Okay, so that came loose. So I don't need to unthread it this way very far, but the next thing I'm going to do is unthread the tie rod. So this has 13 millimeter flats on here, so we will try this. If that doesn't work, we'll get out some heavier equipment. So like the jam nut, I'm going to want to move my wrench clockwise. And this is where we're going to count turns. So I'll be watching my reference point on the top. And that is very tight. So my tool of choice for loosening inner tie rods is the Channel Lock 410 nut busters. This is actually my second pair. I wore my first pair out. I don't know if I disclosed. I used to be an alignment technician a couple decades ago. So I was doing this type of stuff every day. Although when I was doing alignment, I didn't care about position because I used the machine to set all that. So with these, the more you push on them, the more they tighten. So I'll get these on here. My camera might be in the way. Let's see. Yeah, I may need to get the camera out of here. I think I'll move the camera, try and bust it loose, and then I'll bring the camera back. I'm still not having any luck. I upgraded to a pipe wrench. I'm going to use a propane torch, and I'm going to heat up this section here, and hopefully that will allow me to get this loose. Needless to say, if you're using a torch, you have to be super safe, have a fire extinguisher nearby, etc. So the heat did it. I put the pipe wrench on here and pushed it with my foot. I had to do that a couple times. I think I can get it by hand now. If not, I'll go back to the pipe wrench and more heat. I'll also be counting how many times it's gone around. And I've gone around one time as of now. Okay, I seem to have it loose enough, so I'll continue loosening it until it comes apart. I'm stopping every time the top comes around and I'm making a tally mark. That way I don't screw up my count. It's starting to get towards the end here. So we had 17.5 turns to get this off. Now the inner tie rod itself is very tight, so I see no reason to replace it. My next task is to remove the boot. There's a little nub back here that is a zip tie, so I'm going to try and break that loose with my side cutters. Now some cars might have a metal strap there, and with that you can use a screwdriver to pry it apart. Unfortunately I put a light here, but it's in the way of my pliers. It's pretty tight back there. I'll try these flush trim pliers. Okay, I got it off of there. Now the boot may just pull off at this point, so let's try that. Oh, and I need to remove the jam nut. And there we have the old boot off. So this is a good stopping point for me. I'm going to take a break. So I'll cut to when I come back from the break and we'll finish this up. Okay, I'll get out the new boot. One thing I see here is that the opening is smaller. I'll see if this fits over the end. Okay, so it seems to stretch over the end just fine. So I'll pull it back off for now because I want to clean this up before I put it on. So as a result of the boot being torn, there's some dirt and grime in here. So I'm going to clean all that up with a shop towel. I'm not filming that. But I want to make sure this is really clean so I don't lock that dirt in there. Okay, I've got this cleaned up. I'm going to put a thin coat of grease on these inner surfaces, and then I'm going to work grease into this joint. I'll kind of move it around and grease it and move it until I get it all greased up. Okay, so I think I found a decent angle here on the other side. I wish I had found this earlier. So I'm going to install the boot. I put the steering back to nearly straight. I think it's pointed to the left just a tiny bit. So I've greased this up and I put grease around where this is going to slip over. So I'll work it on here. Now there's a little groove in the inner tie rod that I'll have this front part of the boot over. So I'll just work it back. And we're over the back part now. And here's that little groove. So I'll line up the front of the boot with that groove. I'll get the back in. And there's a little lip on the back you want to push the boot over. So to tighten this down, it comes with zip ties. Now from the factory, in the back it would have a band strap. In the front it would have a spring clamp. Now I don't like zip ties, but I am going to put the zip tie on in the back. Now for the front, I got a 7/8 inch spring hose clamp at the hardware store. I got this at Ace Hardware. And I'm going to put that on the front. And one reason I'm doing that right now is that to put this clamp on, you have to have this whole thing apart. Now if I do get a metal band clamp for the back, I can put that on later. So I'll use some slip joint pliers. I'm going to pass this over the tie rod first so it doesn't fly off. So I'm going to put this spring clamp on here. I will then take it off because I'll need to rotate this and I don't want that clamp pressure on there, but I do want to make sure this is going to fit. And the camera's in the way a little bit. Okay, so sorry I couldn't show that in detail, but I did check and that is fitting nicely. Now I'm going to put the jam nut back on. I just don't want that hose clamp to fall off. It has a mess in here. So I'll bend this out of the way. And now I want to put that zip tie in the back. So we'll see how that goes. So I can certainly start it and then I'll slip it back there. And I have some needle nose pliers to help me pull on it once it's in place. Okay, I think I have it pretty tight. I'll clip the end. And now I need to thread my tie rods back together. I'll also get my light out of there before I forget it. So I'll put my jam nut up higher. So this was clockwise looking at it to get it out. So now we need to go counterclockwise to get it back in. Needless to say, we don't want to cross thread this. I need to make sure it's lined up just perfect. So that's my half turn, and now I need 17 more. So I'm going to move the camera out of here so I can do this a little faster. So there I should be at 17. So now I'm going to line up the jam nut. I'll get this tightened down. I'll hold the outer tie rod with these channel locks. And my little witness marks I made on the outer tie rod, the jam nut, and the inner tie rod are all in line. Now this got chewed up pretty good as I was loosening it, so I don't know how accurate a caliper measurement will be, but we'll do one. So when you're doing a caliper reading like this, you don't want to look at the display until it's done, so my head's off to the side, and I got 170, and before I got 173. Now, since everything else lined up, my turns were good, I'm not concerned that I didn't get the exact number, because like I said, this got kind of chewed up, and that's still very, very close. So I feel pretty confident that the alignment is going to be very similar to what it was when I started out. So the final step, I'm going to make sure the bellows are not rotated at all. So there's a seam along the top of the bellows, and I want it straight from front to back, meaning it's not bound up. I'm actually going to rotate the outer tie rod just a little bit so it's straight. And I'll put that spring clamp on there. So you might be tempted to put a screw hose clamp on there. I like to use this style because this is what typically comes on from the factory. Screw clamps could give uneven pressure and hurt the boot. These seem to be the best option, in my opinion. So that's replacing the rack and pinion bellows on a 2006 Honda Odyssey. The biggest challenge for me was getting this tie rod loose. I've loosened thousands of tie rods. I've been through this before, although when I used to do it, I was in a shop and we had an oxyacetylene torch, so I could heat this up real quick and bust it loose. Also, I typically had better leverage because I was on a lift, but after heating this up really good and using a pipe wrench, I was able to break this free. When I put it back together, I put a little grease on the threads so it threaded in better. I used a couple different techniques to mark this. Now, some people might just use a marker. I like to just grind or file something into it so it doesn't get wiped off. Now, if you screw this up, you can take it and get an alignment. Maybe it's due for one anyway. But if you're the kind of person who feels comfortable, say, doing shocks, struts, tie rods, things like that, I think this is a job you could tackle. So to finish up, I'll reinstall the wheels. I'll torque the lugs to 94 foot-pounds. I'll get this off the jack stand, and I'll take it on a test drive. Now, it may not seem like you need a test drive for this, but maybe there'll be a clicking sound. Maybe you'll have left a tool in there or something. It's best to find these kind of issues right after you work on a car. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.